Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Virgo March 2025 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, Clairvoyant. Well, we've got a great deck this month. I think it's called Star. I don't remember, honestly. That's what the back of it looks like. I'll show you in just a second. Could be called Star. I normally just throw away the boxes and the papers because they don't really do anything to help me. And so I just tie the stuff up with string. It's also space efficient. Now, the cards here, though, do have some quite interesting esoteric, I think, imagery in them. I'll point out a couple of things with my pen, maybe. Not everything that's in them, just one or two things, otherwise we'll be here forever. And you know, of course, that as a clairvoyant, well, I can provide clairvoyant readings to you wherever you happen to live in the world over FaceTime and Skype, and they go for about an hour and a half. The details of that, if you're interested or curious, are in the description below at the end of the video. Now, I charge for those. I have to have got expenses like everybody else, but what I do not charge for is a separate thing, which I do offer also over FaceTime and Skype happily for free. And that is the gift of healing. Now, the healing comes through me and not from me, as you would understand. Well, there's nothing special about me. I just happen to be a vehicle through which the beloved can extend its compassion, relief, and healing to us here when called out to. So you might have, now of course I can't get anything in return for it. I've been doing it for over 40 years and it's something that I cannot get a return for because it wouldn't work if I did, and I'd be doing irreparable damage to my soul. I have a spiritual duty to provide it, you see, and without any obligation fee, without selling anything. You won't get bombarded with emails or anything like that, which just drives me demented. I'm sure it would you as well. And if it's calling out to you, you could just have an emotional issue that could be at your wit's end with something. There might be something that's troubling you. It could be relationships, work-related, physical things. It's an open slate, and if this does speak to you, just check out the info at the description. Hundreds of people have taken advantage of it through this channel, so you're not alone if you are interested. Now, there are no ads in this, so you get to enjoy the content direct. Let's just get straight into it, shall we? Show me the magic. Queen of Swords. This is Prince of Swords. That's a mind stuff. Two of Wands. This is Prince of Wands. People here, everywhere. And Ace of Cups. Well, why don't you come and sit down here next to me? I'll bring the camera around and you and I can have a good close look at the imagery that's on these paintings together, while the cosmic energy swirls and speaks to us both, and I'll do the reading for you. Lots of love, sensual passion. These two are very connected here. You'll be using your mind instead of your heart. This is a turning point for you, and you are pressing on to success, abundance, maybe some new relationships here. Why is this connected so closely to that? Let me see first what's happening here. Well, you can take what you can from it, but here there is what is obviously a representation of the divine spirit energy pouring down through this chalice, the heart chakra in a sense open, going through this beautiful lotus and into this full feminine moon. There are 5 streams coming from the cup, which represent the 5 human senses: love, emotional clarity, and a deep love of the self, giving and receiving. Do you know, I think that Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Libra might be important to you here. This is the situation where you now have emotional clarity. And this is in a sense emphasized, I think, by this painting, which shows balance and harmony. The giving of love is happening effortlessly, and that which is flowing into you from the boundless abundance of being itself radiates outwards again by itself if you remain open and receptive. You can compare it, I suppose, to this flower which sends out its perfume whether someone comes close enough to enjoy it or not. You're in contact with an all-embracing love, and it is filling you, and you can pass it on generously and lavishly to others. Great opportunity for new relationships for those who are on the market and for new romance here. I also see a birth around, a pregnancy. Now, there are a number of other deep messages which are coming through here. The flash that I'm getting up is saying that you must understand that to love at all is to be vulnerable. Now, love anything and your heart can be wrung and possibly broken. And if you want to make sure of keeping it intact, then you must give it to nobody, not even an animal. You have to wrap it carefully around with hobbies and little luxuries and avoid all entanglements. You need to lock it up safe in the casket or the coffin of your selfishness. But in that casket, safe, dark, motionless, airless, your heart will change. It will not be broken. It will become unbreakable, impenetrable, irredeemable. Because to love is to be vulnerable. Now, this is also saying that I think that fear of rejection can slaughter the voice from your heart. But remember, time is short and life is to be lived. So don't be afraid to speak your heart's truth. What you feel matters more than the thoughts or opinions of others. And rejection is always a lurking, sinister state of mind. Remember, hearts don't reject love, only minds do. The real truth is that we are all exposed. We are all vulnerable, whether we are brave enough to admit it or not. I think that one of the other things that comes along with this message for you, and which you'll come to understand this month, is that very often we speak of unconditional love, don't we? Well, unconditional love is like a country of two, with no laws and no government, which is all very good if everybody is peaceful and law-abiding. But in the wrong hands, of course, you can get robbing, looting, and crime sprees. And let me tell you, the people who demand unconditional love, they are usually the ones who will rob and pillage and then blame you because you left your door unlocked. I think this is also saying that in that question of unconditionality, that to love everybody unconditionally anyway does not mean give everyone your unconditional time. Sometimes to love completely, you must never see someone again. This too is love, because this is giving someone the freedom to exist and be happy, even if it must be without you. Now, I've just said that this has a great connection with this Queen of Swords at present. For some reason, you can make out the imagery. A lot of Virgo around this, you know. Also a lot of Libra, as well. And this association with Libra, I think, is meaning that you're bringing some sort of balance, some sort of sorting out going on in your life. You will be very graceful, very perceptive, a very keen observer. You'll be intensely individualistic, and you'll be very confident and gracious. But you will be cutting through old roles, old patterns of behavior. And this is a time when you are being called upon to use this sword of penetrating insight, and by which you'll recognize that the masks that you wear don't only protect and camouflage, but they also separate you from yourself and, importantly, from other people. Now, this is, for some reason, having a particular message for fathers. And it's very much connected with this love card. Now, sometimes, of course, there are breakups, aren't there? Well, and divorces, and children as a result of a divorce. And in the world that we live in, fathers only get to see their children every now and again, temporarily. Well, this is saying that use your mind, father, and not your desire for ego. Because the greatest thing a father can do for his children is to respect the woman that gave birth to his children. It is because of her that you have the greatest treasures in your life. Now, you may well have moved on, but your children haven't. And if you can't be your ex-wife or ex-partner's soulmate, then at least be thoughtful. Now, whom your children love should always be someone that you acknowledge with kindness. Your children see everything, and they will follow your example. And if you run their mother down to them, they will hold that against you for the rest of their lives. Now, this is also a time in general, for you as a Libra, that you need to use your mind to make an unbiased decision about a situation or a relationship. Compassion and empathy may well distract you, so you must go with your head and not your heart. Don't be overwhelmed. This is not a time to beat around the bush about a situation or a relationship, but it's a time to decide and to act. Now, she's a very imperial figure here, and sometimes in relationships, be they work or social or romantic relationships, we can kind of become oppressed. Well, this is saying that nobody can turn you into a slave unless you allow them. Nobody can make you afraid of anything unless you allow them. Nobody can tell you to do something wrong unless you allow them. The beloved didn't create you to be a slave. Humans did. God didn't create division or set up borders between brothers and sisters. Humans did. And yes, there is still this connection between this and this, but here it is saying that if you don't love yourself, you won't be happy with yourself. If you can't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. You can't give the love you do not have. Do you see? You can't make anyone love you without loving yourself first. Now, this is also recognizing that pretty well everybody, we from day one were bathed in scarcity. And as a result of scarcity, there have arisen the habits of scarcity.
Now, from the scarcity of time arises the habit of hurrying. From the scarcity of money comes the habit of greed. From the scarcity of attention comes the habit of showing up. And from the scarcity of meaningful work comes the habit of laziness. And from the scarcity of unconditional acceptance, which can leave your door unlocked, from the scarcity of that unconditional acceptance comes the habit of manipulation. And as she is saying, this is a time where you need to use your head and not your heart. Now, if the person that you're with is saying that they need more space and time, well, space and time, that's cosmology, that's about physics, that's about high school science classes. And life is not. Relationships are not high school science classes. They are not human relationships. But that doesn't mean, though, that this is saying that you can't say to yourself that I understand why things had to happen this way. And I understand his reason for causing me pain. But mere understanding does not chase away the hurt. It does not call upon the sun when dark clouds have loomed over me. Let the rain come then, if it must come, and let it wash away the dust that hurts my eyes. So you are in the process of separating yourself from old roles, behaviors, and probably the person that you were in some respects. Now, this can bring painful experiences with it, but it's worth it because the clarity and the freedom and the opportunity you gain frees you. Now, which are the roles that you most easily and most often hide behind, and are you ready to drop them? But say this to yourself now, that my only duty in life is to remain true to myself. But check this out, once you start using your head instead of your heart, for this month only, really, then see what happens here, which is the central energy around you. And, well, quite straightforward, this is particularly good for you. The sun beaming down upon you, these two wands on fire. Here's the zodiac wheel. This is promising you a dynamic, pioneering, powerful personality at this time. This is Mars in the first decan of Aries, the 21st of March to the 30th of March. Look, you will have a warlike energy with you now. You have the ability to dominate situations, to sort them out, and to make decisions. You might even find that you are dominating another person as well as a situation. What is for sure is that you are not going to be satisfied with your life as it is right now. However, because you will be using that mind of yours that Queen told you to, you will be focusing your intent and putting your powers down into a narrow point so that you can break forward. The planet of Mars, the bearer of dynamic, active powers, here is in its own sign of Aries, the pioneer that constantly seeks new ways and methods of getting ahead. And this drive forward now is going to take you into new directions here. You have a real command of yourself. And this condition does demand that your energies are collected and concentrated. And with that will come the courage to embark upon new paths. And whatever changes may occur along the way, you are not going to be thrown off balance. You're going to surprise yourself, I think, because you are going to be overcome with courage, with boldness, and a sort of a fierceness, and dare I say it, a sense of shamelessness, really. You'll be generous, I think, but maybe quite proud. I have to say, I don't make any moral judgment about it, that I do get the feeling that there's an element of wanting to take revenge here as well. But your will is now beginning to press against the fence posts that had held you in, and you are breaking them down. You are using your willpower to break through stagnant situations, people, and remove long-standing blocks. This is definitely a time for you to act, but act on your instinct and what you believe to be right. You don't have to overthink it. Just remain centered. Be in contact with your center. Say to yourself, I find the strength I need now in my center, because you are being told to move in new directions, and they are going to prove to be successful for you. And in many respects, well, in fact, definitely, this is a turning point in your life, I think, and it is exemplified by this. Now, here is this prince again. Here is this sun. Yeah, this prayer wheel almost on the center here, the unicorn of prosperity and the strength of the lion around you. A lot of Leo in this card. So there's a lot of creativity going to be with you. I do see Cancer as being important to you as well for some reason. I see a blossoming love, a lot of intuitive creativity, and this is a time when you have finally, you say, come out of the darkness and into light. This energy personifies the mastery of your intuitive creativity, which is coming from this and from these colors here. And all your senses are geared towards being used for creative purposes. You are going to trust your intuition, and I think you might surprise other people with your original ideas and solutions, because nothing is going to slow down your creative flow. You are going to be in motion. I'd also suggest that you will be fast, maybe impulsive from time to time, generous, and actually you're going to have a really good sense of humor. This is a turning point when things have been going badly, and you need to use his energy and enthusiasm and drive to move on to better things, and this is the right time to do it. You've got to wear the same confidence that he has. And look, this is reminding you to re-engage in life and to tackle any challenges that happen to be coming your way, because you are going to overcome them. This is a time when you will be having a lust for life. And with the courage, the heart of this lion, I think you will stand for honesty and integrity and what you believe to be for the common good. There's a really great sense of morality to you at this time. I mean, this is the spirit telling you, look around you. Open yourself up. All you see in the world is your idea of it. You have all you need. Don't let yourself be contained. And certainly don't let yourself become sort of a slave to anybody or anything. Don't let yourself be slowed down, because life is prepared to receive you. And trust your boundless creative potential. Now, what challenges are present in your life? Just spread your arms out wide and breathe deeply into your heart and say, I love life and life loves me. And you will be full of ideas, almost as if they're tumbling over each other. And that energy is being expressed through this, which is well, look at all the power from this red that you have, and these things are bringing different ideas to you. Did I get a lot of Aquarius and Capricorn around? You are actually going to be very bright, intelligent during this time, full of ideas and plans, very clever. Maybe people might find you somewhat elusive. You are going to have ideas tumbling over you one at a time. The challenge for you is to make sure that you don't just move from one good idea to the next good idea without completing the potential of the good idea that you had. You're going to love thinking and questioning and philosophizing. You'll be able to move on from things quickly. And actually, your mind, your intellect might be quite draining to other people around you at this period because they might find it difficult to keep up with you. You'll be very independent, quite private, I think. It may well be, and this is unusual, but it may well be that some people find you difficult to get to know. There is the need, maybe, to slow down and analyze these thoughts to see if something practical can be gained from them. Anyway, free yourself from whatever limits your mind and spirit, and be sure to express your ideas and plans in ways that other people will understand, and take their opinions on board humbly, however difficult that may be. Because it just may well be that your thinking is way ahead of its time at the moment, but you can adjust to make your vision workable in the present without sacrificing anything. And as this was saying here, this is being reinforced. What beliefs, feelings, relationships, or programmed ideas do you allow to limit you? Say to yourself, my creative possibilities have no limits, but I do need to make sure I can turn them into something practical. What a fantastic spread of cards for you. Made so much better for you being
Extremely interesting artwork, wouldn't you say? Beautiful, I think. Now, unless I see you in the meantime, either for a clairvoyant reading or for healing, then I'll see you here again next month. Until then, though, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.